ticket.
All done. Suit off. Venom away.
How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles coming at you with another video. Today we have another Marvel Legends, and it's one of the crossovers with Magic the Gathering. If it had a card that I really wanted, then of course you get the figure, which is a repaint of another figure that kind of sucks, but there's some added stuff to this one. But that being said, I still had to change it and add some stuff myself to make it to my liking. So with all that being said, let's take a closer look at Agent Anti-Venom and the stuff that I put on him to make him look better, because yeah.
I think we'll take this as our cue to leave. Don't mind us.
Taking a look at the front of the box, it says Marvel Legends Series, Agent Anti-Venom, Magic the Gathering, Marvel Spider-Man, and of course, there's the figure, but there also is the magic card, which I'm going to add to my Spider-Man deck, and I'm also going to make a video, because I feel like with that card, it's pretty much complete. I'm going to make a video breaking down my Spider-Man deck and how it works and why I made those choices, so if that's something you're at all interested in, stay tuned for that. I think it'll be fun. On the side, Magic the Gathering Marvel Legends with some nice artwork that is on the card. On the back, we get the rest of the figures in this wave. 3 out of 4 I already have. The only one I'm missing is Mary Jane Watson Iron Spider, and the card isn't really that great, and the figure means kind of nothing to me, so probably not going to get that one until it goes way down in price. But I really wanted to make sure I got Man-Wolf, Agent Venom, and the Spider-Man card, because they're useful in my deck. So once again, it says Marvel Legends Series, Agent Anti-Venom. We got a little thumbnail of that artwork. Top of the box, bottom of the box. And with all that being said, make sure you mind your mana so you don't run out and you have enough to play your cards. Yeah, that's my girlfriend's Magic channel. We're going to do more work with it and try to get it going. So stay tuned for that as well. So there's a card in there. So I kind of want to be more careful than I usually am with opening one of these boxes, just because I don't want to ruin the card in any way. So, you know, you cut the tape, you slide the figure out, and then once you, well, actually, that's kind of nice. You take this out right here, which I'm going to save that. And then you just kind of take care of the box, and it's good to go. It's all set.
Oh no, not.
First of all, and most importantly, we get this card. It says Anti-Venom, Horrifying Healer. It costs 5 planes. Legendary creature, symbiote hero. When Anti-Venom enters, if he was cast, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is useful. Very useful. If damage would be dealt to Anti-Venom, prevent the damage and put that many 1/1 counters on him. So one of my Spider-Man cards, if you sacrifice it, it protects all of your other creatures from hexproof damage, any of that stuff. It makes them hexproof and indestructible for the turn that you sacrifice them. So if you play this after doing that, you can return that Spider-Man to your hand, and then anytime someone attacks this card and it takes damage or you block with it, you get counters on it. So it could go from a 5/5 to like a infinite amount as long as you keep blocking with this card. So really it's kind of indestructible unless someone exiles or destroys it. So really good card. And there's the figure out of the box. So here is our Magic the Gathering Agent Anti-Venom out of the box, and the only difference between this one and the terrible Agent Venom that we got earlier this year is that they added a port on his back and gave him a new symbiote tentacle to hold a bunch of weapons. And other than that, other than the color, it's exactly the same. So like the big thing here was not the figure, it was in fact the card for me. But they also gave him some crappy guns, so for right now, for this whole video, because I don't want to use those, I replaced the guns with ones that I had extra normal colored guns, because the ones that they gave him are blue. So weird, and I don't like that, but I do like the tentacles. It's nice. They completely redid the sculpt. It's got some striation. It looks very symbiote-y and stuff. Like it's not just a solid piece. It's got a lot of sculpt in there, and I like how it comes outward rather than sticking out to the sides, and it ports into his back a lot better than the old ones. But other than that, the details are all the same as Agent Venom, other than color swap. So of course we've got a black spider symbol instead of a white one, white armor, and gray and silver accents as opposed to black and silver accents. So there's not a whole lot different here to talk about as far as the figure, other than that accessory piece and how dumb it is that the guns they gave him are blue. But you can see we've got those spikes and stuff coming up the boots, the sculpted in texture on the legs and the shoulders and all that stuff. Of course, the spikes on the shoulders as well. So there's really not a lot to talk about as far as new, because it's essentially a repainted figure. I wanted the card mostly. I do, like I said, I do like the symbiote effect. It's better than the old ones. The old ones were terrible. Like, they really were not great. This one is a lot better, and he actually can hold the weapons with the tendrils, which is great. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, Agent Anti-Venom is a repaint of a mid-frickin' figure that we got earlier this year in a Spider-Man Retro Wave. I do like the look, but there's no waist articulation, there's no proper boot articulation. There's just a lot of stuff that they could have done better. That was done on the older figure at the very least. Like, the older figure, I'm holding him in my hands right now, had ankle rockers. He did have torso articulation under the overlay that they gave him, but you couldn't really move him. But he did have waist swivel at the very least. These two figures, Agent Anti-Venom and Agent Venom, do not have waist swivel, so be wary of that. Also, don't just get rid of the card. You should sell it if you're not interested in Magic and just want the figure. They'll go for like 15-20 bucks. They'll pay for a portion of the figure. So don't just throw them out. I saw some guy bend one and I was like, bro, there goes the value on that. And that's like worth $3 as opposed to $15 now. Of course, it's all about somebody willing to buy it, but you know, just treat it with respect, because some people like Magic, like me. Checking out his height, he's the same height as Agent Venom, which is about just under 6.5 inches. Just under 6.5 inches. And then we're going to go over the articulation, which is pretty terrible in my opinion. Head goes back pretty far at least, so there's some movement there. Forward, not as far, so you're limited there. Shoulders come up 90 degrees. There is no butterfly joint. We do get a bicep cut. Pinless double elbows that work relatively well considering the giant rubber shoulder overlay. Torso articulation is on a ball peg at the upper joint. Forward, backward, not a lot of movement at all. To the side, we do get a little bit more, but like I said, there's nothing at the waist, so that's all you get, which is crazy to me in 2026. Well, 2025 still. Leg comes forward, to the side. Well, let me do this leg to the side. Butt kicking action, indeed. And it does not go back very far because of the butt sculpt. We do get a thigh cut. We do not get a boot cut, and we barely get ankle rockers. Like, this is, I saw someone fix this. They had to Dremel it out and add different joints to the boots to fix it, which you shouldn't have to do. So it's like, just not very articulated figure. And that is literally, other than the wrist pegs and stuff, that is literally the only articulation on him, which is shameful because the old figure had slightly more. And it's like, you're supposed to be upgrading figures, not just side grading them. Hasbro, my goodness. All right, accessories. All right, so these I haven't taken out. They're complete trash. I mean, I like the style of the weapons that we have. Like, it's cool guns. We've got the ones that came with the shield 2-pack, but they're freaking blue. So we get 2 of each. 2 of the long mag, 2 of the short mag. One has a scope, one does not have a scope. Then we get this also crappy pistol that we've seen a million trillion billion times in blue. And then we get green blast effects, smoke and blast effects. So I don't know if Hasbro has a rule against Magic using guns or whatever, but they just like, let's give Agent Anti-Venom blue water guns, blue pew-pews with green effects. And it's just like, you can see I haven't even taken them out because why would I? I mean, I will at some point, but come on. And then of course we get this, which is Agent Anti-Venom. Even if you wanted to port one of these on, you couldn't because he doesn't have a hole in his back. And the one that they put on him, I think either my spider is off center. It's definitely my spider. It's off. No, the peg hole is off center, which is crazy, but it just pegs into there like so. Get that in there. which is a lot better than the old ones. And like I said, there's a lot more detail sculpted on these. Definitely looks tendrily and symbiote, so that's pretty cool. Definitely a good look as far as that's concerned. And then of course, like I said, I used the shield weapons that I had, the extra ones lying around, so that's how he's probably going to be displayed on my shelf. Because why would you use the blue ones? Why would you even include the blue ones? It's so stupid. They look so bad. And then lastly, for accessories, we get 2 of these open hands. He's got 1 of them in already. 2 fists. She's got 1 of those in already. And then of course 2 trigger finger hands for holding weapons, of which I have many to use in photography. But yeah, that is all the well, actually, we've already talked about the card, but I'll say that this is also an accessory. It's gonna go in my Spider-Man deck. Can't wait to do that and play with it, hopefully on Sunday. But yeah, those are the accessories.
Flash and Venom are one.
Cool! What now?
First up, for scale and comparison, here he is with the old Agent Anti-Venom figure. I'm probably gonna put this head sculpt on this one because that's how I have Agent Venom. I have the other Agent Venom head sculpt on there because I just think it adds to the height and looks better. So I'm probably going to swap the heads. But you can see there are a lot of differences. Like, the old one is bulkier, taller, more detail. This is just an overlay rather than being part of the body. So articulation is kind of wash on the torso, but this tentacle thing is terrible on him. And of course that pistol is sculpted on there. The new one is just cleaner, a cleaner look for Agent Anti-Venom, which is Flash Thompson. So, you know, gonna get rid of the old one minus the head sculpt, put it in a lot, just be like, here you go, some person who doesn't care that much about that, because those people who buy that stuff. But I don't want to keep the body. It's hard to look at. I don't like to keep old figures around. Like, they take up space. I don't know what to do with them. So I got Silver Surfer, I got Mystique, and I got Agent Anti-Venom without a head that I'm going to put up in a lot, and probably a couple more. What else is coming? Well, Iceman I'm not going to get rid of when I get him, and then I need Shimogoroth, so there's no replacement for that. And then the last figure I'm getting this year is Enchantress, and then I will do my Marvel Legends top 10, hopefully before January. So yeah, and I'm also going to do like a top 5 worst, not a top 10, but there's that comparison. Also, there's that head swap for you. I think it looks better. Like I said, it adds some height. I like the all blacked out lenses. Pretty cool. Here he is next to Eddie Brock Venom and Eddie Brock Anti-Venom. And of course, like I said, Flash Thompson in the middle with the Anti-Venom symbiote. Here he is with Agent Venom on the same exact body, and symbiote Spider-Man from Secret Wars. So there's those 2 with him. Here he is with Nick Fury and Black Widow, because I'm assuming he's worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point. So I grabbed them all down to get some weapons off, and here they are together. Here he is with She-Hulk and Rhea Ripley, Jaded Toys, Chester and Shaggy, and lastly with CoverGirl from Classified and Lightning Collection Green Ranger. I think that about covers the bases, y'all, right?
Too much to cleanse, to cure.
So with all of that being said, y'all, is the Agent Anti-Venom Magic the Gathering crossover figure worth it? Are any figures worth it? It's debatable, much like anything. You have to give him better guns. You have to modify him to get better articulation out of him. We do get the nice tentacle effect. It's just a repaint of Agent Venom, so it's worth it to me because I got that card. That's the icing on the cake. But I would have preferred a much better body for both of these characters. Well, it's the same character, but both of these figures, I think that they could have used to be a little bit taller, obviously more articulation, and they could have included a Flash Thompson head with this as well. But I have the one from Agent Venom, and the VHS 2-pack, so I have 2 options there. So is it worth it to me? I guess so. If this video was worth it to you watching, smash like. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a channel member. It's only 99 cents, and you get early videos like this one. Comment, let me know what you think, if you agree, disagree, if you play Magic, what your deck colors are, if you like Spider-Man Magic the Gathering, and you're excited for my deck breakdown that I completely built myself, let me know in the comments down below. As always, keep your head up, stay brave, be kind to your local LGBTQ community. If you're protesting, be extra super duper 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 safe.
I love y'all. I will see you next time, and bye-bye.
Will his touch destroy Agent Venom?
That's one way to put it.
Return to
Found a mythical Walmart end cap.
Ah, Morty, you're still watching this crap, isn't this? Review figures and toys and stuff. Aren't you a little old for toys? Ah, geez, Rick. You know, I don't think you should call her a bitch, and I kind of like her videos. So maybe you should shut the f up. Q, Morty. Q.